Take one. Hello, hello. Welcome to Where the Music Lives on the I.F.A.T.S YouTube channel. My name is Pamela D, and I am here with one of our dedicated members of the Facebook group, I.F.A.T.S. This is Miss Cathy Cathy. Cathy, how are you doing, girlfriend?
Hey, I'm doing better now. We got all that technical stuff out of the way,
Yes,
But
yes, yes.
I'm doing well. Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you for the invite, Ty and you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You look great, girl. You really look good. And listen, folks,
Uh,
she's got on the I.F.A.T.S feature Super Sunday shirt. Let's check this out.
okay, I got to show it to everybody. So
Ah,
yeah,
I love it.
that's
I
why I
love
got
that.
shirt.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you so much for representing, girl.
Oh yeah. You know what, Pamela? I bought this shirt not long after I had joined the group. I just fell in love with I.F.A.T.S from day one. It just it just spoke to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To walk down memory lane with all these songs that I forgot about. And one day I was about to leave social media because like I'm outspoken on politics and things. And it was during the Trump era when I joined. I think in 2020 it was. And you know, I'm like an unofficial political pundit, if you will.
Uh-huh,
And
uh-huh.
I let my emotions drive me sometimes, and I kept getting put in Facebook jail.
Uh-oh,
So
uh-oh.
I said, you know what? I'm just leaving. I'm just leaving uh Facebook altogether. And I stumbled upon the group, and I was like, wow, this is interesting. So I decided to join, and hey, I couldn't have made a better decision doing that. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. Well,
sorry about
yes,
that.
so yeah, let's start at the very beginning of Cathy Cathy. Cathy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I am
Ooh.
one of four children. My parents have three sisters, I mean, two sisters and one brother. I'm the middle. I'm the middle girl.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah. And my parents, especially my mother, man, she loved music. But she loved the blues. My mother loved the blues and she liked R&B too. She loved Luther, Al Green, um, Gladys Knight and the Pips, all the Motown sound, Aretha Franklin, you know, those that was her speed. Bobby Blue Bland,
Oh
BB
yeah.
King,
Oh yeah.
BB
Oh yeah.
BB King was supposed to have been my daddy, right? That's what she told me. But
Oh.
anyway, yeah, and then my pops, like he was into jazz. He loved jazz, and he taught me a lot, and I used to listen to some of the music that he would play. I think I was about 8 or 9 years old, and this music spoke to me. I mean, at that age, can you imagine
Oh
being
yeah.
8 years old? And he would sit me down and tell me about all these different artists. First of all, Pittsburgh has a lot of great jazz artists that originated from here, born here. We have like Uncle Georgie B, of course, and like my pops, he grew up with Georgie Benson in the Upper Hill District
Okay.
here in Pittsburgh. Yeah, they were pretty tight growing up as kids. And then once Georgie, well, I shouldn't call him Georgie, Uncle Georgie, he his career, just took off. And he would come back to Pittsburgh for concerts, and he would come to our house and bring promotional albums and tickets. My mother
Wow.
and my dad, they would go, to these concerts. But let me tell you, Uncle Georgie, Art Blakey, we got Stanley Turrentine, Phyllis Hyman, of course,
Oh wow. You're
rapper
naming.
Wiz Khalifa, Billy Strayhorn, Actor Billy Porter, he's from here. Billy Eckstein, a lot of Billies, huh?
Yeah.
Who else? Ahmad
Oh
Jamal is
yeah.
from here. Yeah, and Shanice Wilson, she's
Uh-huh.
from Pittsburgh. So we have a lot of you know, pretty decent artists that come out of Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh is also known for a lot of arts and cultural events. We have the Andy Warhol Museum is home is here,
Okay.
in Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh is more than just the Pittsburgh Steelers and the steel industry. I
Yeah.
was just I left a comment for Mike Green, OG Mike Green, yesterday about the Steel Town USA. He
Uh-huh.
was talking about an artist that he had posted was from Indiana, Gary, Indiana, which is also known as Steel Town USA. But
Correct.
yeah, we're also known as the city of bridges. So yeah, there's a lot in Pittsburgh to to explore and just become familiar with.
Yeah, yeah. I just know, you know what I know about Pittsburgh? I do know that it's a long way from wherever I have to go. I don't care where you going in Pittsburgh. That's a long way. And where am I? Right,
Well,
right in New Jersey.
Pittsburgh and Philly aren't that far apart.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
we're southwestern Pennsylvania and they're northeastern Pennsylvania. So,
Okay.
we're really not that far apart. Yeah.
So your parents, and it's not an assumption, it is. Your house was always full of music then.
Oh man, yes. Let me tell you, our house was the on the block. We would have parties. Like my mom and my dad, they loved to have parties and company. My life was school, music, parties, and church.
Okay. All right.
Those four things.
Yes, yes.
That's all there was. And a lot of times they were impromptu parties. It wasn't anything that was planned per se.
Those are
People
the
would just
best
hear the
ones too.
music. They hear the music and they just
Start
congregate
coming.
on our porch.
Uh-huh.
And next thing you know, we have people all in the yard, and then my mother might decide to fire up the grill, and my dad would come out, and we would just have a good time. We would the music kept us grounded as kids. Um,
Okay.
of course, I was the one that always stayed in the house playing the music. Like my
Uh-huh.
older
Uh-huh.
brother, my brother and my oldest sister, they like to run the streets. So my younger sister and me, we would stay at home most of the time, and we would just play music, and our friends would come over, and we'd party into the night. My mom and her friends and my dad's friends, they would all come over, and it was just an exciting time. I remember
Wow.
every Friday, my mom would come home from work, and she's like, "I heard this new song on the radio." It could be like Luther or Al Green or anybody. I need you. She said, Kathy, grab my purse so I can give you the money and run down to the record store to get me the special. So that was a time where I just felt joy. I mean, I had no problems doing that. And then sometimes she would tell me, well, you get something you like, and that's when I started getting into a lot of the Jackson's music, Jackson 5. And when Michael went solo, I would be able to go down to the store and get an album or a 45 for myself. So that brought me a lot of joy. Yeah, music was always playing in our house.
Oh wow, Kathy, Kathy. On a serious note, wow, I could listen to that all night because when it comes to talking about music and those days, I just become so sentimental. I really, really do. Let's talk about the music itself though, because from the time that you were a kid and up until now, the music has changed. Some of the genres are barely recognizable now. What, aside from the blues, because you did, not the blues, the jazz portion of it, you did mention that. What was your go-to type of genre? What could really, get you going or you could listen to all day? And if you have, who's your favorite artist?
Jazz is my favorite genre. When I'm at home and
Okay.
chilling, that's normally what I play. But I'm very versatile when it comes to my music. I can get into, I mean, a lot of R&B. I even get into some rap, believe it or not. But my favorite genre is jazz.
Is it
And
traditional jazz, or do you prefer the what they call the contemporary jazz, which is sometimes known
well,
as smooth jazz?
yeah, I like both. I like the traditional sound as well as the contemporary, smooth jazz. A lot of my favorite artists, and I didn't get. I was actually introduced to the traditional jazz early on in my life as a
Okay.
kid. I didn't get hip to smooth jazz until I was about 17.
Ah, okay.
A friend of mine, this guy that I used to date, his name was George, and he introduced me. He introduced me to Jean-Luc Ponty. That
Yeah,
was my first introduction into. He was more contemporary, but that's where he started. That's where we
yeah,
started. And
yeah.
then Jeff Lorber Fusion
Yes,
Band,
yes.
and it just went on into a lot of Ahmad Jamal and who else? Just a lot of different contemporary jazz artists at that time that were just really taking off that I was getting familiar with. And today, I feel like with Miles and Coltrane and all of the iconic jazz legends, there's a new artist out, and I think I sent you. I know I sent you her. She did
Yes,
a
yes.
tiny desk concert. Her name is Nubia Garcia.
Uh-huh.
This girl, man, Pamela, she's bridging the gap between the traditional sounding jazz to the more, it's not, I wouldn't even call it contemporary. I think it's like uh
Okay.
an Afro jazzy sound that
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
she's putting it together. She's only 32. She writes, composes all her music. She plays the sax unbelievable. I could listen to her all day. But
Wow.
that's really where my sound is. Of course, my boy Boney James and Richard
Yes.
Elliott. I'm in love with those two. And there are a lot of, the old school, Grover Washington Jr. Um, who else? There's so many that,
Of course,
Walter
you
Beasley.
love Marion Meadows, I believe, right? Don't you?
Oh yeah, Marion Meadows, Walter Beasley, Joaquin Joyner. I know you're hip to
Yes,
him.
yes.
Mike Phillips. Just so many. I can't even, my brain,
No,
I get
yeah, yeah,
scattered
yeah, because
brain
it
trying to
happens
think
like
about
that.
all these wonderful artists,
Yeah, it
But
happens like that.
that's me. That's what I love. Like when I'm, like I said, when I'm alone, and that's what I like to, or driving in the car. I throw on jazz most of the time, depending on my mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. I love it as well. I want to ask you, what was your first concert?
The Jackson Five.
Really?
I think I was 8. I was 8, and we went to see the Jackson Five. Girl, I cried like a newborn baby. I
What?
wanted, I wanted Michael to myself. I wanted him so bad. It was like when we saw him on TV first on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yes, yes.
We cried then. All both my sisters, even my
Uh-huh.
older sister, she cried. But I had a fetish for Michael. I even wrote him love letters. Can you believe that?
What when you went to see them when that first concert, what was out then? What album had they or what year was
You
that?
know what? At 8 years old, I can't remember what album. I remember the songs though,
Yeah.
which was ABC and Never Can Say Goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
So were you close in age to Michael at that time, or was he a couple of years older than you?
Michael was 10 years older than me. When he passed, he was
Okay.
58,
Okay. All right. So yes,
right?
yes.
Wasn't he?
So
He was 58, right?
yes.
That's
Okay.
how old I am now.
Okay. Okay.
Psych, I'm 59. I'm lying. I'm 59.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. So at that time, you were 8, and you said Michael was 10 years, so he was about 18 at the time.
He was young. He was still young. I
Yeah. Oh,
remember the
yeah.
concert. Seven. No, he couldn't have been that old.
Yeah.
I
So it
could be
might have
off.
been.
I'll tell you my radar for time and space. Sometimes there's a gap there, so I
Yeah.
could be off, Pamela. I don't know, but I know that was the first concert because we got these big posters from the concert with all the brothers, all the Jacksons. They're standing up, and my sister, my younger sister, and I, we both got a poster because we both had one on each side. We shared a bedroom, and
Yeah.
we each had one on our wall where our beds were. We had twin beds and everything. So, but yeah, that was my first concert.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and then my second concert, which I remember, was Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh,
And let me tell
wow.
you, I was being babysat. That's the only reason I went because my parents went away, took my little sister with them. My mother told my brother and sister, they both had tickets to go to the concert. One of them had to take me. My brother
Wow.
left 2 days before the concert and never came back. So that meant my sister had to bring me to the concert. I was floored at that concert. I never, the way the people were dressed going to the concert, that was the show for me. I
Yeah.
mean, all
Yeah.
these people, the big afros and the
Uh-huh.
platform shoes
Uh-huh.
and the bell bottoms, and people with all this spacey look, the outfits and everything. I
Yeah.
was tripping. I was tripping. I was only like probably 12 at the time. And I was tripping on that, but the music was really nice. I got into the music, so my funk radar went up at that time. I was able to enjoy the funk. That was something that brought me into the realm of the whole funk. Era of music.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I know as you and I do communicate quite a lot. And on the page, I know you have an affinity for the horns, that horn section of many
ooh-wee.
songs. When did that come about? Was that during the time that you went to the concert right after the
You know what?
Parliament?
Sitting down, listening to music with my pops.
Okay.
He played a lot of Coltrane. He played a lot of Miles. And then even in R&B, I would pull out the horns. Like I'd be listening to Earth, Wind and Fire or Cameo or, some of the bigger groups that used a lot of instruments, a lot of brass instruments, Tower Power. And
Definitely.
the horns just captivated me. I don't know why. But the sax is the sexiest instrument alive. Now the sax, I say is sexy, but the piano is romantic.
Yes,
See,
yes.
I like the piano. I like the keys too, you know. But the horns just, to me, it's like the horns are the gravy on top of everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you have your bass and you have your guitar and drums, but there's nothing like the horns. Just adds a whole different dynamic to a song for me, and that's just something I carry around. I don't know, it's just like medicine or something for me.
No, I can understand that. I do understand it. And one thing you had said earlier that when you were younger, you know how the mo music speaks to you. And I know that a lot of people who are deeply, deeply into the music has that same feeling that the music speaks to them somehow. And I really, really like that. I want to go back to you being a member of I.F.A.T.S. You've been a member for about how many years now?
What, 4 years now, going on 4?
1 on 4? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what about I.F.A.T.S that has kept you within that group? Is it? Is it it may be a combination of things, I'm sure, but what is it that has kept you in the group?
The way you guys run that group, you guys are organized. Now I've belonged to a lot of different, I did until I left. I had joined a lot of different music groups and
Uh-huh.
on Facebook,
Uh-huh.
and they just didn't have the type of organization you guys have. you're organized, you're present, you're there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Everybody. There's rules in every music group, but see, you guys enforce the rules and you keep them the way that they are, and people are so um just so polite to each other and so considerate. It's different from any other group that I ever joined. And the fact that this music that we listen to in I.F.A.T.S and that people post brings us back, down memory lane, like I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It just gives you a sense of, you think about where you were when that song came out or how old you were. I know today I was commenting on the Jackson 5 song Ty posted, and he's like, yeah, this came out in 1973. I'm like, what? I was in third grade. I had no idea. I had no idea that the Jacksons had a skydive or skyline
The
or
Skywriter.
skyrider. That was it. But the thing that keeps me there are the people. I've met some really wonderful people, um just genuine, just know how to be courteous and just very friendly, and it's just something that just sticks with me every day. I.F.A.T.S is a part of my life every day. I log on every day. Sometimes I don't even check my main page. I just go straight to I.F.A.T.S. I love it. I do.
Awesome.
You guys do a
It's
wonderful
awesome.
job. Shout out to you and Ty and Tia and Tina and OG Mike Green. All you guys keep it 100. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And of course, we love having you here. We really, really do. You definitely make the page more fun. And I've met quite a few people too. And you are right. They are very, very nice. Do you have friendships that extend beyond I.F.A.T with members in I.F.A.T?
Well, some I do. I like to keep it, with the and close to the music.
Okay.
That's what keeps me happy. What's going on in someone's personal life. I really don't like, to get into all that. I mean,
Sure,
especially,
sure.
it can be, you walk a fine line that way.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I just like to keep it about the music and, but I want to give a shout out to my partner in music shenanigans, Mr. James Harris. We
Okay.
always be cutting up.
Yeah.
James posted every song under the
I see you
sun.
guys going back and forth.
I know that is my cat. I love that guy. He is so cool. And shout out to OG Mark Steffens.
Yes,
He's pretty
yes.
cool. And I don't want to forget nobody, but they know who they are. And I just enjoy the interaction. And I love learning. I.F.A.T.S gives me an educational experience too. I'm learning a lot that I never knew about some songs or groups, artists. It's
Yeah.
just been an educational experience. It's more than just the music. It's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's a learning experience as well.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you on that. We have some serious educators in that group. We really,
Oh
really.
my God, yes. Oh, I'm like, I'd be like, my mind just be blown, Pamela. Like all of the nuances and things that I've learned is just like unbelievable. I
Yeah.
never knew what I didn't know thanks to I.F.A.T.S.
Okay. Okay. Great to hear that. Now, if I may ask you a personal question, are your parents still with us? Still
No,
alive?
my pops died in 2005 and my mom passed in 2019. So
Yeah,
they're
I was
both
asking
gone.
that because I know how strong, because from listening to you, that influence from your parents is strong. I can tell that by the way you listen to you talk and the music that you post, especially Miles. We don't get a lot of posts from Miles, but when I see Miles, I know who it's coming from.
Yeah, I was introduced to Miles very young. And then my dad, he used to try to sit me down and explain the inner workings of how Miles wrote his music. And he based it on sound. Like Miles he was an evolutionary. Everything evolved with him. See, some of the purists, the jazz purists, they
Yes.
wanted him
Yeah.
to stay in one lane. And Miles was like, no, y'all are not gonna pin me down
Yeah, he
and
did.
put me in, in a box.
Yeah.
So he did lose some followers because of that.
Yes,
But
yes, he did.
Miles was he was so different that you had to be different to connect to him and his music.
Wow.
It's just my dad. He just loved jazz. I mean, he like Johnny Guitar Watson and some of the other R&B artists, but he really loved jazz, and he was happy that I was embracing it like that as well. So he wanted me to sit down and just talk to. He would talk to me for hours about this.
I think
This
that is so cool, Kathy. I think that is just amazing. That type of relationship. Wow. I think that's
and
so cool.
you know what, Pamela? That wasn't my real daddy. That was my stepdaddy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was my stepdad, and but to me, that was my only daddy, though, for real. I don't share that, but I just shared it with the world, I guess, just now. But he was the only father I knew.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
And your mom, let me ask you about her. Even though we did talk about her earlier, I'm just trying to just want to get a little another sense. Who was her favorite singer?
Well, my mom loved Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight and the Pips. She loved Luther. I always mention that every time a Luther song. You know what? I'm not a big Luther fan,
Uh-huh.
but my mother loved Luther and she played him to death. And that's probably why I don't like Never Too Much and Bad Boy
House
Having a
is not a
Party.
home.
I can't stand those songs. They drove me crazy. But that was her. And she liked Bobby Blue Bland. She loved BB King. She liked the blues though. She did. She loved
What
the blues.
what do you think of about the state of music today, even when it comes to jazz? But what do you think? Because a lot of people talk about the state of music today, especially dealing with R&B,
Mhm.
the decline of it and the 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 fear that it's never going to return. What do you think of the state of the music today? Are you wide open? Do you can listen to that, or you prefer to be
I'm gonna start
an
with the
I.F.A.T.S
R&B.
listener forever? I mean, what do you like? What do you think? Tell us.
I'm gonna start with the R&B aspect of it. R&B, there is no more R&B. I don't personally, I don't think so. It's all pop now, in
Okay.
my opinion. R&B to me was music that you could feel and relate to. It's all about there's so much rap going into R&B, they're merging, and it's just becoming pop music. Like people like Beyonce. I respect her craft and what she does as an entertainer, as an entertainer and an artist, but her music doesn't move me like that. I wouldn't call her R&B. She's straight
Okay.
pop. She's
Okay.
straight pop. I mean, and that's for a lot of them, like Rihanna. And I just personally, I'm not knocking their boogie, but that's just how I feel. I'm not. I don't listen to that music. I might post a Beyonce song here and there, but to sit and listen to that or say I need to go play this, I don't do that. But R&B is really lost. I think we were the last generation. I think the baby boomers, we are the last generation to get
Okay.
real R&B. As far as the jazz goes, I think smooth jazz is taking over in terms of how the music is played, because it's not so much about the essence of the sound. It's more about the beat
Okay.
within the smooth jazz
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
genre. Um, and then you have, like the new artist. Well, she's not really. She's new in the United States because she's from the UK. Nubia Garcia. Y'all should check her out. Her album is called Nubia's Five. Um, this girl is fire. I'm saying I can listen to her like all day. Like she's awesome. And she's bridging that gap for me, from the the traditional sound, as I mentioned earlier, to more contemporary sound, to give it its own. I don't even know what you call it anymore, but it is it's just fire.
Okay.
I adore it. Yeah.
Well, Kathy, it has been a pleasure, 100% pleasure to listen to you, to get a better insight to you, to get a better understanding. And not only that, for our members as well, because as I say to everyone, we see these pictures, the people pose, and boom, we go on our way. But yet there is that common factor that we have, and that's that love of music. And to be honest with you, people basically are the same no matter where you go, but there's
Right.
still that closeness now that we've spoken. I like that. And with the music, if you had or given that one opportunity, an opportunity to listen to one song, just one song, what would that song be and why?
You know what? I'm prepared for this because I know you asked everybody the same question, and I already came prepared, Pamela. And you know what my song is?
No.
Queen of My Soul by Average White Band. And you know why? Listen to those lyrics.
Queen of My
Listen,
Soul.
Queen of My Soul by Average White Band.
Okay, okay.
Listen to those lyrics, and it makes you feel it. You feel it talks about how music is the queen of my soul, and that is the truth. And it is for me. That speaks to me. Even in the lyrics, I forget the name of the lead singer, but he's saying, "Come on and speak to me. You've got the power to satisfy me." I've, and, even the introduction. I've loved you for as long as I can remember. That's me. I've loved music for as long as I can remember. I have a baby picture. They got me sitting right next to the record player. I was probably like 5 months, not even after 3 or 4 months, sitting right beside the record player. I grew up with music in my heart, in my mind, in my soul. It controls me.
Wow. That is absolutely beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
Kathy, we've come near the end, at the very end, actually, of our show, and I want to thank you once again for taking the time out of your day to spend time with Where the Music Lives On. And of course, I'll see you on the page, and it's been a dynamite pleasure for me. It really has.
Hey, for me too. Thank you. I'm glad we got all of our technical difficulties out the way so we can
Absolutely.
get this done, because I was like,
Yes.
well, maybe we should reschedule because
Yeah.
it wasn't
I was
happening. You know what
determined.
I'm
I
saying?
was determined.
But it's cool. I can dig it. And we had a blast. Thank you so much, Pamela. I appreciate it. And it was my pleasure as well.
All righty. All right. You take care, and I'll see you
You
soon.
too. All
Okay.
right, Pamela. Peace
Bye-bye.
out.
Take one.